Okay, so I know I'm a little late on this one, but today we've got something pretty special from Melgeek, the O2, a low-profile offering that is designed to be used with Macs. And I gotta say that for me, this was a breath of fresh air. Get it? Because it's called the O2? Never mind. Because after being in the whole mechanical keyboard hobby for a while now, there's, for one, not a lot of good options for low profile, but also there aren't really that many boards that are specifically designed for Mac. And personally, I refuse to go for the Magic Keyboard because it just feels so soulless, and I just love the sound and feel of a good mechanical board. But it's hard to argue with how sleek and minimal it looks. And in the past, low profile mechanical boards seem to be the answer. In theory, you would get the best of both worlds, the sound and feel of mechanical and the sleekness of a chiclet style board. But usually you would end up sacrificing on one or both of those. But after using the O2 for the past month or so, I think I can confidently say that this is the best low profile board that I've tried so far. And I think that when we get into the sound test, you'll definitely agree with me. But first off, let's talk about design. It's a low profile 75%. That's really inspired by older Apple products that use a lot of transparent plastic. And if you can tell by the speakers on my desk, I am a huge fan of that whole look. So on the O2, we've got a clear plastic top with an aluminum border around the keys to give it a premium touch. The bottom is a white bone color ABS, and we've got some fun colors on the rubber feet as well. We also got an accent light on either side, which I thought was a pretty nice touch. Overall, pretty big fan of the look. It kind of has some retro vibes, and I think it just works. You might also notice that this comes stock with the Apple key layout on here. They do include extras to convert it into windows, but I think the fact that they had these on here stock is telling of who they want this board to be for. Because it's not only the command and option keys, they also have the function keys labeled for macOS. And this was super nice because a lot of the times with other boards, these function keys will work, but I can't remember which is which, so having the legends is super helpful. They also went the extra mile and made sure that all the key positions on here are as similar as possible to the Magic Keyboard, so there's less of an adjustment period to anyone getting used to this. So you know when you get a new board and the keys are sometimes in a slightly different position and spacing, and you end up making a ton of typos for the first few weeks while your muscle memory adjusts, this should help out with that a lot. For me though, I think it did feel similar, but you get a lot more travel with the keys on here than the Magic Keyboard, and that kind of negates their effort in making sure the board layouts are really similar. I ended up making just as many typos trying to adjust to this as pretty much any other board. They also shaped the keycaps, which are die sub PPT, to be slightly concave, and I actually do like them a lot because it just gently guides your finger into the middle of the key. But again, it does feel different than the flat keys of the MacBook or Magic Keyboard, so don't expect this to feel exactly one-to-one the same. And of course, you wouldn't really want it to either, because if it felt the same, why would you get this over just sticking with the board you already have? And I feel kind of bad for saying all that though, because it looks like they really put a lot of effort into this. Like they even made sure that the feet are placed in a way that you can just plop this right on top of your MacBook keyboard and no keys will get depressed on accident. I always found the idea of doing that kind of strange, but hey, you know, if you want to roll that way, it will work. Apart from that though, this is just a really solid board. It's pretty lightweight, which is good if you want to bring this with you to the coffee shop every day, but it doesn't feel cheap either. It also has everything that you'd expect from a modern board at this price point, like tri-mode connection, which is great, but the 2.4 gigahertz dongle that they give you is this Lego looking thing that I just do not think matches the board. Battery life is pretty impressive though, at an estimated 3,300 hours of use in Bluetooth or 1,800 hours over 2.4 gigahertz. But the real star of the show is the sound and feel on this board, which are fantastic. You'll hear it in the sound test in a sec, but we've got Kale Sunlight low profile switches. They're linears, which is my personal preference, and they've got multiple layers of foam in here to eliminate any unwanted echoing in the case. And they've got a gasket mount on top of that to provide a lighter typing experience. But of course, you want to hear it for yourself, so here's the sound test. All right, so that was a sound test, and I still gotta say, fantastic. And what's even better is that this is only retailing for about $130. And I think for that price, if you're looking for a productivity focused, low profile mechanical board, this should definitely be at the top of your list. But anyways, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.